What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're breaking down how good is Devin Haney's resume, and I'm going to be breaking down why it's not all that it seems. So first off, let's start with Devin Haney as a 2-division champ and the former undisputed lightweight champion of the world with a record of 32 wins and no losses with one no contest with Ryan Garcia. So already, he's got good accolades to be considered a top fighter in the sport, but in my eyes, I just think that Haney's resume was the best of the best, and now I'll break down to you guys why Devin's resume is not all that it's propped up to be. We'll start it off with Gamboa, who was currently at the time 30-3. This was a good step-up fight for Haney when he was climbing up the ranks, but Gamboa was in there for Haney to stop and look good against. Gamboa was coming off of a TKO loss to Gervonta Tank Davis and was obviously a rapidly declining fighter, and Haney and his team knew that, and they went in there looking to replicate what Tank did. Haney threw many fast, hard combinations, throwing everything he had behind his shots, looking to stop Gamboa, but was never successful and went on to win a unanimous decision victory. Next, Haney moved on to fight Jorge Linares for the WBC belt. When he fought Linares, he was 47-5. He was built up to be the next great thing early on in his career, but that then faded away after losing 5 times and being stopped 2 fights before the Haney fight. So now this is where you'll see a pattern of fighters coming off of a bad performance or being stopped and being towards the end of their career, and that's when Haney decides to fight them. Haney looked very sharp in his fight with crisp, sharp, and accurate combinations, but then the tide shifted, and right before the bell, Linares rips a lightning fast combination, hits Haney right on the button, and sends Haney stumbling to his corner after the bell rings. And now after taking his fight to look good in style Linares, he now for the first time in his career has to survive and weather the storm and overcome adversity on the highest stage. Haney comes out of the next round not looking to engage, doing a lot of holding and clinching to where the refs should have taken a point for how much he was holding on. Haney weathers the storm and continues to win rounds and wins a unanimous decision over Linares, but he gets a lot of criticism after this fight is done. Now Devin Haney is looking to become undisputed. George Kambosos and Tio are getting ready to fight for the rest of the belts in the division, and Haney and Kambosos make a handshake agreement that states if Kambosos beats Tio, he will give Devin an undisputed fight. So Tio and Kambosos finally square off, and Tio comes out super aggressive looking to stop George in the first round like he said he would. But then towards the end of the round, George throws a short right hand over the top and puts Tio on his butt for the first time in his young career. George goes on to control the fight as Tio's face becomes a bloody mess the more and more the fight goes on, and George is declared the winner by a split decision victory. And Devin, knowing that George is not a good fighter, he takes the fight with zero hesitation because yes, can beat Tio, but there's a phrase in boxing called styles makes fights. If you don't know what it means means that most of the time the person who uses more IQ and uses more technical skills in the ring to come out victorious usually beats the one who come into the ring only banking the win by KO. So Tio lost to George because of how their styles clash, because we know that Tio was the better all-around fighter, but George just had what it takes to beat Tio. Unfortunately, he wasn't so lucky with Devin Haney. The first bell rings and Devin was on cruise control, just jabbing and moving. Anytime George tried to make it rough, Devin would clinch and he boxed his way to unanimous decision victory and became the undisputed champion of the world. But this was a very easy road to undisputed compared to what other fighters had to go through. Devin got very lucky with Kambosos' fight because Kambosos is nowhere near the elite level in boxing. Haney and Kambosos had a rematch clause, so Devin did the same thing once again and boxed his way to unanimous decision victory, retaining all of the belts. After this fight, Devin was placed on the pound for pound list, but he received major backlash on how it was the easiest roads to becoming undisputed. In the next fight, Devin knew he had to do something big to shut up all the critics, so he went on to fight Lomachenko. While Haney was becoming undisputed, Loma was working his way back up the ranks, rebuilding his career to get one last shot at undisputed, and Devin gave him just that. This is when Devin started to talk a lot during the build-up of fights and put on this villain role, talking trash to Loma and also pushing him during the weigh-ins. This fight was built up to be a high-speed chess match between two master technicians, and this fight was all of that and some. Both of these fighters put on a great night of boxing in a very close victory where some thought Loma got the job done, and then others like myself thought Haney rightfully won. But nevertheless, this was a great fight, but this was not how Haney was looking to leave this fight, which is also becoming a pattern. But Loma was old and it should have not have been that competitive. If Devin really is all that they say he is, Loma was clearly a fading fighter and started very slow in the beginning of the fight, so it's amazing that Devin let it get so close. And Devin is also coming into the ring with a huge size advantage, with how much he rehydrates on fight day, coming into the ring at 155 on fight night, while Loma was only 140. This once again is another stain on Devin's career that they still have to this day, and they won't let him live it down. Haney then says he has grown too big for 135 and is looking to move up to 140 to fight Regis Prograis. But once again, Regis is another aging fighter who comes off of a bad performance, showing a decline in his boxing career. Regis was 29-1 coming into this fight and coming off of a performance where he had been dropped, and Team Haney were making remarks like, "I'm gonna stop you, I'm gonna hurt you." Then Haney enters the ring at 165, once again having the severe weight advantage over his old fading opponent, even telling Regis at the weigh-ins that he was too small and he was trash. Haney went into the ring dropping Regis once once and hurting him twice, and putting on a masterclass showing everybody that Regis is exactly the fighter Devin knew he was signing up to fight. Regis probably has the worst boxing footwork I have ever seen, and he's one of the worst champions I've ever seen Devin fight, but yet his team still builds Regis up to be this great champion. Regis even went on to fight somebody way less skilled than Devin and looked the exact same and still got dropped, so it was no crazy impressive victory from Devin. Now Haney is looking for his next fight with full confidence, and it ends up to be Ryan Garcia, and once again Haney is talking way too much in the lead up to the fight, saying he was going to stop Ryan Garcia, and Devin goes into the ring with Ryan missing weight, giving Devin a taste of his own medicine by outweighing Devin and dropping him twice and hurting him multiple times. It was later found that Ryan had been taking PEDs and he was banned for a year, and now I don't condone all that, but all the openings that were there because of his flaws that Ryan dropped him for were still real issues. Yes, the PEDs made the counters have way more of an impact, but the flaws were still there, and Devin ended up getting exposed because, like I said earlier, styles makes fights, because Devin is a better fighter between him and Garcia, but Ryan had the style to beat Devin that night. Devin, after being out of the ring for over a year, finally comes back and signs to fight Jose Ramirez. He acknowledges all his flaws, like I said, regardless of the PEDs, and once again he was talking crazy to Ramirez, saying he was going to stop him and that he's a whole new fighter. Going into the Haney fight, Ramirez was 29-2, was another opponent that was coming off of a bad performance because he had just lost his last fight. He was also another aging opponent who was 1 foot out of the boxing door. And again, Devin had the weight advantage, coming into the ring at 165, and after everything Devin talked about in the lead up to the fight, and broke the record for the least amount of punches thrown in a 12-round fight ever. He also was so scared in that ring, and was never able to relax and get comfortable because of what happened between him and Garcia. Devin was running around the ring, not able to stand still for more than a second, and was looking super gun shy. Now I'm gonna end off with this. I hope Devin bounces back and competes on the highest level again, but him and his team's mouths run them into a lot of problems because they can never back up what they're saying. It's too early to tell whether or not Devin is a shot fighter, but it took me some time to realize that Devin Haney's career is not all that it's made out to be. It's severely calculated and not taking any real risk while having everything fall into their lap. They parade around about being undisputed, and congrats on that, because that's not really easy, but they did have zero doubt the easiest road to becoming undisputed, while cherry picking fighters and building up their opponents to be something they're not, and them not even being able to back up their own talk. Now once again, if you guys have anything you guys want me to break down, just let me know in the comments, or let me know my Twitter DMs. I'll have it linked in the description. You could even text my TikTok DM. I'll have that linked in the description too. I really appreciate everybody who clicked on this video, but I have nothing more to say. Much love. Peace.